So it was very bizarre, I guess, just because we didn't expect anything, and so we went in and we didn't know that it was concerning at all that we were having to go back in for a check. We just thought it was, oh, they didn't get to see his head, no big deal. And so then when we went in and they did the ultrasound, I mean, the person doing the ultrasound didn't say like, oh gosh, or anything, and he just got done and it was a good ultrasound. And then as we got to the end, he said, okay, well, thanks guys, the doctor will be in a minute. And so, I mean, it's just kind of that pit in your stomach of, we didn't know we were seeing the doctor. We've never seen the doctor. I'm not sure that that's normal. And so we kind of both just had that concern of this maybe is not normal. And then the doctor came in to talk with us and just said, looking at the ultrasound, there are some concerns with the baby's development. We're not sure what the diagnosis is, but we can tell that the skull has not formed correctly, and that your baby's not going to be compatible with life. This was not the spot we anticipated being in. You start thinking about things you don't even want to think about, like how do we tell people this? And it's like, what emotion should we be having? How do we process this? You see other people go through tough stuff. I mean, usually it's through the social media lens, so like you see what's going on with them, but it's so easy to see it, think, oh my gosh, wow, that's really hard, and then move on in your own moment. But when it's your pain and your grief, that's not your opportunity. You don't have the opportunity to just, okay, let's move on. And so I think that was what was exceptionally challenging, was just in the moment, it's like, what do we do? I mean, aside from just cry and want to give up, like, what are your next steps? And so for us, like, Riley was 4, so it's like we're still mom and dad for Riley as well. So it's like we got to get together and figure out how to process. In St. Louis, we met with a doctor, and they had told us it was acalvaria, which we had never heard of, and it's 1 in 500,000 or so diagnosis. And so they just kind of talked with us about kind of here are your options and stuff. And for us, our only option was to take care of him as long as we could. And so for Jessica, I mean, she was very much like, this is my kid, like this is my baby, and I'm going to do what I can to take care of him. And they had told us, there was essentially zero chance that he would survive outside of the womb, that his condition was not compatible. And so, I mean, just like anything, you come home and you Google it and like, let's see exactly what we can find. And that's what we found was just, this is, people don't survive with this. And so it was that idea of like, okay, well, let's pray about it. And I mean, I feel like that's where we want to be. And we know that God's going to take us to the spot that we need to be in. And we don't know what this is going to look like, but we know that God will make it what it needs to be. And then it became more normal. I mean, it was like every day was unusual, but then this is what it is. Like every night we'd pray and just hang out. And once I could start feeling him kick and stuff, I mean, that's how we spent most of our evenings, was just hanging out. And she got to feel that all day, but for me, just to sit by her and get to hang out with him and try to talk to him and stuff, because we didn't know what that would look like. And that just kind of became our normal. I mean, the new normal kind of arrived. On Angel's Wings was huge for us because they helped with creating that normalcy of, hey, this is tough and stuff, but this can still be exciting and you still have a baby. For both of us, there was that idea of just trying to find that therapeutic experience to help us process what was going on, but still enjoy what was going on. And so I think that On Angel's Wings was huge because of the fact that you still got to go to maternity pictures and do all those really fun things that people look forward to, even though it was hard because of the circumstances that led you to there. It was normal. I mean, that's what people do when they're expecting. And so I'm not a big picture person, and so I don't know that maternity pictures was something I was necessarily looking forward to. Normal, yeah. But then once this happened and that came up, it's like, oh, absolutely, like, let's go.
I feel like we were very hopeful. I mean, we prayed the entire time once we found out about Owen, but we were just very hopeful that, like Tom said, that God had a plan for him. We didn't know what that looked like, but we were hopeful about what that outlook would look like for us. And I know there were many times where I felt just at peace with it, and I know that wouldn't have happened without those prayers and without God and in our situation. Yeah. So I don't think that could have happened any other way.
With the support of the people around us, I mean, I truly felt like we probably grew in our marriage more in that however many months of knowing than probably our entire years of marriage outside of that. And so I think that's weird. Like, it's odd for that, but it was that idea that, through that challenge, I feel like we relied on God between us more than we probably had in the past. And for like Owen, knowing, we felt like something amazing was going to happen. It's just that piece, like, we didn't know what that was going to look like. We were very prayerful and hopeful that he would come out and just be a normal baby, and not have any of the disability they'd talked of. But we just felt like something amazing would happen. Didn't know what that would look like. And so as we went through that, we prayed every night for that and hung out and we had a daughter, so it's like we wanted her to love that she was going to get to be a big sister, and we wanted it to be an exciting time. And so what we talked about a lot is, I feel like it's like if you get a cancer diagnosis or something where they say this is terminal, this is going to be what likely brings your life to a close. You kind of have two options. You either have the option of just wallowing in your grief and life is awful and hard and no fun, or like, I'm going to live it up. Like, this is an amazing opportunity. And so for me, that's really where I wanted to live. I'm not a very high stress person. And so I think for Jessica, it was obvious for me that she was at a lot more peace just because she was able to enjoy her pregnancy. And I think for me, that was my biggest thing, is I wanted her to be happy as we walked down that road. I think I probably cried more in the couple days after our appointment than I probably have cried the rest of my life combined. Just because it was like, what do I do? Like, I'm her husband. I'm Riley's dad. Like, I have to be strong. Like, I have to be able to pull it together. It was just trying to be strong and be available. And, I grieved for a couple of days of just like, I don't know what to do. And then I was like, all right, man, we got to go. Like, we got to step up. And this is a little baby boy that we have the opportunity to be the parents of. And for whatever reason, this is who we were chosen we were chosen to be his mom and dad. And we're going to be the best mom and dad for him that we possibly can. We talked about, we want him to know how much we love him. That's it. We don't know what that will look like. We don't know any of that, but we want him to know we love him. And how can I possibly give you my love if I'm not even able to grieve myself? Like, if I'm not able to move past that grief. And so
we have attended Making Memories Day. I think it's in June. That was probably the first gathering that we had gone to of theirs, but we really enjoyed it. It was great for Riley to take Riley as well. And actually, it was probably one of Owen's first outings because we didn't really take him anywhere. We weren't sure of his immune system at that time, but we got to. At that time, we'd probably only been in contact with some people through On Angel's Wings, just through like email or through Facebook. And so we met Michelle Kramer there, and we met some other people on the board that we had not met before. And they, Michelle Slavens comes and does home visits. She comes to visit us, and she's here for prayer and support whenever we need her.
It's just that idea that there's somebody who is emotionally available, even if you didn't call on them, like, when you have those people in your corner, even if you don't necessarily utilize them constantly. And so I think for us, that's where some of that peace came from, was that we knew, so many people would reach out and just, it's something as simple as saying, hey, we're praying for you, we're thinking about you, we hope you're doing okay. And it just kind of brings you comfort knowing that people care.
I had no idea how far our story would reach. We had people reach out to us that we didn't even know, but to just tell us that they were praying for us or send us some, gifts.
The photographer that we've worked with throughout most of this time, Michelle Renfro, another one of the Michelles through On Angel Wings, she works for a newsleader and had said, hey, Jackie would like to do a story with you guys. I'm like, yeah, absolutely. We'd really like to share about On Angel's Wings, and we think it's cool to be able to share Owen's story. And so she came and we thought it was going to be like an online article, maybe. We weren't really sure. And then I started getting text messages one day. I was sending an IEP meeting, and I started getting text messages from some colleagues, and it was pictures of the front of the newsletter with our picture on it. And I'm like, holy cow. And so then, it just kind of went from there. It was crazy. We have had so many people reach out and send us a message and say, hearing about Owen and hearing your guys' story has, brought me closer to God or has given me faith.
Definitely give them a call. They've been a huge part of our journey since we contacted them, and then we're still in contact with them regardless of the outcome. They are always there to support you. So that's just another person or people to give you support. So I know that just being in this situation, it can be tough, but just reaching out and having that support, and then if you can have maternity photos or whatever memories on Angel's Wings can help give you, those are yours forever to keep, and so I think those are very important to have.
Yeah, I think for me it's just fight on. Don't give up. Don't just try to crawl into your shell and do it on your own. I think it's just get up, find the people around you. Like Jessica said, our support system was bigger than we probably ever really recognized. Our people at work and friends and family and people we didn't know that were sending really kind messages. I think it's just share what's going on, like allow others to support you. You can't do it by yourself. And so I think for me, it's don't try to crawl into your shell and ignore it or just not address it. I think it's just fight on, get up and, go. And I think On Angel's Wings is one of those things where I think when we first started, we didn't necessarily know what it was because we haven't need to know what it was. And now it's something that's like, I can't imagine how this would have looked without them. They were just so incredible and so caring, and they continue to be. I think that's the thing is, it's not just if you hear your baby's not going to survive birth. That's not what it's all about. It's about if we can help support you through your grief, please let us. And it might, I will tell you this because I'm not a big picture person. Like going into it, I'm like, I don't understand how this is going to make a difference. Like I don't understand how having our pictures taken is going to make this any different. And then doing it, like I said, it brought normalcy. It brought people around us that they were excited that we were pregnant. And I think for us that was really key, that we had people that weren't just like, oh my gosh, wow, I'm so sorry. But people were like, how exciting, how are you doing? And man, how is Owen? And so for us, having On Angel's Wings around us was that. It just brought that normalcy and that excitement to being pregnant. And so while I'm not a picture guy, or I wasn't then, we've now had our pictures taken a lot of times. And I like taking pictures. I enjoy getting to take pictures with Jessica and Riley and Owen, and I enjoy people getting to see kind of how amazing our life is. I want people to know that our life is awesome. Like there's no pity. There's no need for pity. There's none of that. Our life is amazing. It has different challenges and new challenges, and everybody has theirs. You just might not know what theirs are. And so for me, if you find out this news or if you're going through this right now, don't do it alone. Reach out, get in contact, allow people to support you and to love on you and to share God's love with you. I think that's.
And I will say, just on a personal note, regardless of what the diagnosis or the outcome is, I tried to make sure that I enjoyed each day with Owen because he was alive when I was pregnant. He was,
He was yours to take care of.
Yeah, and I didn't take that job lightly, but I just enjoyed every day that I got with him, and the further along that we got through pregnancy was one more day, that I got to spend with Owen. And so I would just say, even though those diagnoses can be hard, just enjoy that time that you get to be pregnant, that even though you can't physically see your baby, you can feel your baby.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Reach out to us. If you need somebody, reach out. We've had a few people reach out as we found out these things and just say, hey, would you be willing to talk with so-and-so? They just found out this news. Absolutely. Absolutely. We want to support people as they do this because it was hard. It was hard. We tried to live happy, but there were days that were hard. There were days that were harder than others, and there were other days that weren't. And so for us, we want to be able to support others and